Sahanavavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Saha viryam vavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam. Self-love, the art of loving ourselves. Yesterday we saw why we're even talking about this topic. Because it forms the basis of the fulfillment of life. If we don't know how to love ourselves, we will never be able to form meaningful relationships with others. I had mentioned that without self-love, our relationships with others are based on fear, based on insecurity, based on the need for companionship. I want someone to be with me because I'll feel lonely. I want someone to sit beside me because I'm afraid of my own solitude. I'm afraid of my own mind. I want some noise in the background just because I don't want to feel my silence. Without self-love, our relationships with other people, our love with other people is oftentimes based on fear and oftentimes based on attachment. So self-love forms that foundation. After I learn to love myself, then I begin to love others more meaningfully, wherein that love is about growth, about sharing, about giving. That's what makes it meaningful. And further on, we had talked about a higher love, even, which is that of loving an ideal, loving a value, loving something so precious in the world that you want to give to so many more people beyond the family, beyond the community. It could be even your nation, such as the ideal of freedom. Then we talked about the highest kind of love, which is the love for all. So self-love forms that foundation for loving all. Yesterday, we started with the first segment of self-love based on chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita, and we were on the first verse. So let's read that together from Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, and then we'll continue from where we left off. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. So yesterday we saw self-love in the sense of the 16th chapter in this way. Fearlessness, or abhayam, means fearlessly accepting myself for whoever I am and letting myself feel it. If I feel empty, it's okay. If I feel sad, it's okay. But to fearlessly accept myself. Sattva samshuddhihi, we saw, introspect and see what are the things I have to fix. Jnana yoga vyavastitihi, we saw, bridging that gap between knowing and living. Dhanam, being able to give. Dhammaha, self-care in terms of what I am taking in through my sense organs. Yajna, being selfless or having an altar of selflessness. Swadhyaya means inspiration. Yesterday, we closed with Swadhyaya, and I had mentioned that in every field of our lives, we should have someone better than us. And it's a blessing that there is someone better than us, because they can lift us to higher heights. They can make us grow. If we don't have anyone better than us, then our fields will be very sad. We need to have that inspiration. And so Swadhyaya means not only study of the books, but study of the people around us who are better in certain things, because there's a lot we can learn from them. When we think of Vedanta, we tend to limit our study to a text. But Vedanta is not that. It's not just that. It's the study of life. It's the study of everything. Avadhuta Gita says it best, right? He says, everything is my great teacher. And this is the heart of Vedanta. Today we will start from Tapas, or Tapaha. What is Tapas? Tap means to burn. It literally means to burn. Tapas is austerity. Very often we see it, or we hear this word austerity, but the root means to burn. Why is it to burn? Because practicing that austerity can be painful. Tapas means conserving my energy so I can apply it to something greater. That is called tapas. But why does it mean to burn? Because sometimes it's so painful to conserve that energy. Because it means I have to give certain things up. Like what? Like I have to give up eating junk food, right? Certain types of junk food I have to give up eating so that I can conserve my energy better and give better. Like maybe I have to wake up earlier. This is very hard. It's a discomfort, you know? Tapas is treating yourself to some discomfort. So that way you can be more efficient. You can give more. So at first, waking up early might be uncomfortable. Or sharing a room with 4 people and figuring out who's using the bathroom first is a discomfort. But it actually makes us grow. Or sometimes, not using my phone so often. Because we tend to use our phones, check it all the time, check the same message again and again and again. It's the same message. And nobody wants to know, nobody's messaging you, so stop looking. Sometimes you even check, how come no one's messaging me? How come no one's emailing me? Everybody has better things to do than think about you and think about me. So we should also have better things to do. Or tapas sometimes means I have to stop binge watching on Netflix, series after series after series, to control that energy. Or sometimes it means I have to stop eating so often, eating so much to preserve that energy. We were just talking earlier about how eating can be such a thought, that, I want to eat something, but oftentimes we don't eat because we're hungry. We eat because we're bored, or we eat because we just need a break, or we eat just because we just want to chill. It's not really that we're hungry. It's just trying to cover up that emotion that's happening in our mind. So it's called tapas, to burn, because it's treating ourselves to discomfort. And treating yourself to discomfort is burning. It's hard. It's tough. But the resilience that is built from tapas is so precious. When I treat myself to certain kind of discomfort and I'm able to overcome that, you and I will shine even brighter than before, greater than before. That's why we go on all of these yatras and trips, and every now and then we'll say, have some silence hour, do this for an hour, meditation, do yoga. We'll pack so many things up in a camp so that all the energy is conserved. And you can put it to study, reflection, and learning ourselves. So that's what tapas means. Treating yourself to discomfort and embracing that discomfort. Arjavam. The result of having this life where we practice fearlessness and purity and discomfort, etc., I become more aligned. Arjavam means that my thoughts, my words, and my deeds are in one shruti. They're in one sound. They're in one song. Have you ever been to a music concert wherein the tabla is a different beat and then the singer is going on a different beat and you have something else on a different beat and it's extremely off and it doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't feel good because there's no harmony. There's no rhythm. What happens in us when we don't have this self-love? We are in disharmony. Our thoughts are thinking one thing and our words are saying another thing and we're doing something else. So we've got a mixed up shruti in here. We've got mixed up harmony in here. And so it's so difficult to do anything. Arjavam means when everything is in a straight line. For example, what is not Arjavam is this. What is not Arjavam is, should I eat? I really want to have chocolate right now, but I know it's not right, so maybe I shouldn't have it. But my friends are tempting me to have it, but so should I not have it? There's so much wastage of time in this inner self-dialogue between my body, my sense organs, my words, my thoughts. There's so much inner dialogue. There's so much of a battle that it takes me so long to execute. If there's an inner battle, my efficiency is so poor, my productivity is so poor that I cannot do so much and give so much. So Arjava means everything is straight. There's no inner battle. When there's no inner battle, guess what happens? Everything happens like this. There's no should I do that? Oh, should I? There's okay, yes, this is what I'm going to do. Yes, this is what I believe in. Yes, this is how my life is going to work. There's not so much of this inner thing because we have so much clarity because we've done so much introspection. So you see, everything is linked to the other thing. If this introspection, if this inspiration, if one of these are lacking, it's very hard to be in a straight line. In Mahabharata war, Bhishma, Pitamaha, had an inner battle. He had an inner battle because he loves the Pandavas, but yet he sided with the Kauravas. Dronacharya had an inner battle. Same, he loved the Pandavas, but he sided with the Kauravas. When there's an inner battle inside, how can you expect to win outside? It doesn't work. So if I want to win outside, I must first win inside. That is Arjavam. So when we summarize the first verse, it comes down to two virtues, which are acceptance and sincerity. So the key to self-love, as we're extracting from the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, is acceptance and sincerity. Now, let's go on to the second verse and see what that has to give us. Ahimsa satyam Tyaga shantirapeshunam Daya bhuteshwaloluptvam Mardavam hrirachapalam Ahimsa satyam Tyaga shantirapeshunam Daya bhuteshwaloluptvam Mardavam hrirachapalam. So the two virtues that we're going to extrapolate from this verse is confidence and patience. Self-love, how to love ourselves more, is through confidence and patience. How so? The first word, ahimsa, means non-violence. What is violence towards ourselves? When we think about violence, we normally think about hurt or harm that we give to other people, either physically or through our words or through our thoughts. But what is violence towards ourselves? Violence towards ourselves is violating our potential. It's violating our potential. It's our very own self-limiting beliefs. It's thinking that we cannot do, we cannot be, we cannot go. It's these words or these languages saying that I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. It's going to be too hard for me. Nobody in my family has done it. I can't accomplish it in this lifetime. It's just, nobody's going to help me do it. It's this kind of negative use of words or negative thoughts that we think or that we say to ourselves, that is called himsa, or that is called violence, because that's violating my potential. I'm already, whether you say you cannot or whether you say you can, you are already right. Because if you say you can, you are right. You'll be able to do it. And if you say you cannot, you won't be able to do it. Because guess what? Our actions can never be bigger than our words. Have you ever acted without even having a thought of that action? Is that possible to act without having a thought? I know there's that saying, you didn't think before you acted. There was a thought there, but they didn't think deeply. We can't act without ever having some kind of thought. So actually, there are studies that have been conducted that you can know already when you say a certain thing, already your brain just thinks in that way, and already they can predict that you're going to do it. Because the power of your mind is so immense. So when we are saying all this negative talk or negative thoughts, thinking to ourselves, this is limiting who we are. And that is the biggest crime. When I was in the Yuvavir course, it was made very clear to us that what is the biggest crime? Thinking small. Thinking small is a huge crime. It's a big crime because you and I are underestimating our potential. You and I are underestimating who we are meant to be. And you can see this expressed in many people's lives. How many of you have heard of Arunima Sinha? Okay. Arunima Sinha, she's an athlete. She's in the sports field. And one day, she was in the train, and this was in Bharat. She was in the train. And on the train, she had a necklace. She had a necklace, and this necklace was being taken from her. Some thieves tried to snatch her necklace, so she fought back. She fought back. She's an athlete, she fought back. And what they did was they pushed her off the train. They pushed her off the train, and she lay there, and as she lay there, another train came on top of her. And before she knew it, she said she tried to lift up her jeans, but when she lifted up her jeans, her leg didn't lift. And she felt that she must have lost her leg. And this was so tough for her because she's an athlete. Her body is what she uses every single day. And she went to the doctor. The doctor said, you have to get, one of those artificial legs. You have to get that. And you won't be able to walk for 3 to 4 years. Now, you're telling Arunima Sinha this. And she said, this can't be. I need to walk. I need to do things. And the doctor said, no, 3 to 4 years, and you need to go in a wheelchair. Do you know, she refused to sit on a wheelchair. She refused to sit on a wheelchair. She would hold the walls of her house to move. She would ask her parents to help her to move because she said, I'm not going to sit in a wheelchair. And for, a year, after a year or two passed, she started walking. She started walking, she started biking, she started doing all of these things. And if that's not enough, she wrote to the first woman who climbed Mount Everest. And she said, I want to climb Mount Everest. What do? Somebody who has an artificial leg who just recovered wants to climb Mount Everest. That was not easy at all. For us also, it's not easy. That lady wrote her back and said, the very fact that you thought it means you're going to do it. Like such belief, such faith the other woman had in her. And so Arunima Sinha, she today is the first amputee to climb Mount Everest. She climbed all the way to the top. And it wasn't easy. It was very hard. And towards the last part, her companion was even giving up on her. But she said, no, I need to take a video. She said, I need to take a video because I need to tell the world that you can do it. She said, I did not climb Mount Everest with my legs. I climbed it with my heart. But I climbed it. You see? That's what it takes. So you and I are far more powerful than we even think. But we ourselves are putting those limits with this kind of negative belief, negative limitations. So ahimsa means stop violating your potential. Stop it. Because you're unlimited in every which way. And there's enough evidence to prove it. And I'm not only talking about Atma, unlimited. Your mind is unlimited. And your body can be unlimited. Ahimsa. Satyam. Satyam then means coming to the truth of my potential, knowing what I can do. So Satyam means finding out what is my limitation, what is my self-limiting thought, what is my self-limiting language, and changing it to be affirmative, changing it to be positive, changing it to be who I am. That is called Satyam. So find out what that is and write affirmations. Write something affirmative. Change the rewiring of your mind. So instead of your mind saying, I can't do it, I am doing everything that I have set out to do. Instead of, it's impossible, everything is possible with the grace of God. Change it, twist it, turn it, and that turning is called Satyam. That discovery of the truth in me is Satyam. Of course, we know that the highest truth is our Mahavakyas, our statements, our great statements in our Upanishads that tell us who we are, that I am infinite. But you know, you and I, sometimes we can't relate to that. So many times, through years and years, rishis have told us, you're infinite. Still we feel like this limited little cocoon thing, you know? You're infinite. Sometimes it can't resonate with us. Sadly, because our minds are not prepared to take it. So start with this then. Start with an affirmation that I am intelligent, I am brave, that I can face anything which the world brings to me, that I have the courage to take it. That is called Satyam. And it's not that you're trying to be something you're not. You are already that. Because I bet you, in your lives, you've already made great achievements. You've already soared high. You've already done so many wonderful things. But you've just forgotten it. You've just forgotten your success. And that's why you think you're going to fail, because you forgot your success. So Satyam is not trying to affirm something that's not there. It's trying to affirm your success, your previous success. Say it, think it, live it. And that is called Satyam. In this process of trying to live this truth, sometimes there can be impatience, which brings us to the next value. It's called akrodha. Krodha normally means anger. It means impatience. Akrodha means patience. It takes time to grow. It takes time to develop. So some people will say, you know, I've been practicing this mantra for 3 months and nothing has happened. Oh, it doesn't take 3 months. It takes longer than that. You know, some people will say, I practiced Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. It didn't work. So then I switched to Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Then it didn't work, so I switched to Om Namah Shivaya. And some people are like that they'll keep switching and keep switching and keep switching. And what's happening there is that everyone's digging little ponds. If we kept at one mantra, if we kept at one affirmation, if we kept on one goal, we would have dug a well by now. We would have been so rooted in it. But we become so impatient with ourselves, impatient with these teachings, that we think they're not working. It's not that they're not working, they are working, but it takes time. The growth of learning is non-GMO. You cannot inject all this GMO nutrition, this genetically modified. You cannot inject all of that in learning. There is no hurry in nature. It takes its own time for the sun to rise. It takes its own time for the sun to set, for a flower to bloom, for a child to come out. It just takes time. So it doesn't mean that everything should happen right away. It's because we live in this generation right now where everything is Amazon Prime. And there's like 2-minute poha that you can make, right? There's like all these 2-minute things, and there's this 1-minute thing. And if you want to sit down, there's like a 3-minute meditation, and there's like a 1-minute breathing technique, and everything is just time based. and download this movie in 30 seconds. Everything. It's like, just take time. And if our Wi-Fi isn't working, well, our Wi-Fi isn't working. It's supposed to be 4G, 5G. I mean, it's coming through like a structure, then the waves are there, and then it's coming to your phone. Be patient with it. I'm sitting on an airplane, and the airplane's not moving yet. The taxi's so long. Oh my God, it's just going on and on. My gosh, you're going up on the air. What a beautiful thing. But we cannot wait. I'm in Starbucks and the line's so long and they're getting my name wrong and I don't know if they said my name. Oh Lord. We lost that value. We lost it completely. Our generation doesn't know what patience means. Everything we want fast, quick. But it takes time for growth. True growth takes time. You know the story of this fern and the bamboo? Once, somebody went to God and said, God, I'm having such a tough day and I'm ready to give up. I'm just ready. I just can't take it anymore. I'm done with life. And God said, wait, don't give up. I'll tell you a story. So Bhagavan said, this is the story. Years ago, I planted a fern and I planted a bamboo. Planted them at the same time. I gave them both the same love, the same nourishment, the same water, everything I gave them, sunshine. And after a year, I saw that the fern was blooming and it was growing and it was spreading. But nothing happened to the bamboo. Then I saw the second year the fern was spreading even a little bit more. And I looked at the bamboo. Nothing yet. The third year, same thing happened. The fern was all over the place, but I didn't see anything of the bamboo. This went on. And the fifth year, finally, I saw the bamboo sprout. And in 6 months, the bamboo grew to 100 feet. And so God said, it's not that the bamboo wasn't growing all this time. The bamboo was growing roots. It was growing roots. And all this time it was growing roots, all I did was be patient with it. I never gave up on it. I gave it the same love, the same care, because I knew it's growing roots. And so he told this person, don't give up on yourself because you're not seeing explicit results. Every day, you and I are growing roots. We might not see it. It might not be so evident, so in your face, but you're growing roots. Everything is a root. And in time, it will bloom. But it takes time. Just like every beautiful thing in nature takes time. So be patient with your growth, is what akrodha means. Tyagaha. Tyagaha means renunciation. All over the Upanishad, tyaga, right? Letting go, detachment. While I'm on this process of self-love, of growth, there are certain things that I have to let go of. What do I have to let go of in particular? Here, I'm going to talk about letting go of desires. Let go of desires. Why? Because we have become beggars. We're desiring so much of this world that I want so much more money. Give me so much more money. Please give me so much more money. Let me make more money. We're desiring companionship. Please help me find somebody that I can share my life with, that I can be with, or even if it's just a friend to hang out with and watch a movie with. Please help me find somebody. Again, we're begging. Or we're begging for name and fame. Please let me be so popular that everyone wants to come to me. Or please let me get all these likes on Instagram and Facebook and all of that. I went on a vacation and I posted my picture, but still no one's liked it. It's been 20 minutes, and nobody's liking what I'm doing. So I need that. I want that acceptance. I want that attention, and I want that. I need that. And this is what we desire, right? In Bhajagovindam it says, all the desires can be clubbed into 3. Vitteshana, putreshana, lokeshana. Desire for wealth, desire for pleasure, for companionship, desire for name and fame. Now, why am I saying to let go of desires? Because when you and I let go of desires, we stop becoming beggars. As long as we're desiring something from the world, we are begging. Please give me this, please give me that, please give me this. We're begging. Instead of desiring, become deserving. Instead of desiring, become deserving. When we become deserving of everything, then guess what happens? We become like queens and kings and everything just comes to us. We don't even ask. Being deserving or becoming deserving means making ourselves worthy. Physically making ourselves worthy. Mentally making ourselves worthy of it. Worthy of love. Worthy of respect. Intellectually making ourselves worthy, because this is in our hands. The ability to fashion and form who I am is in my hands, and I can make myself be the most deserving person in this world. And guess what's going to happen? You will never have to desire anything. It will desire you. Money will desire you. Money will say, my gosh, I want to be with this girl. She's kind of cool, People will say, oh my gosh, he's so cool. I want to hang out with him. He's the one to hang out with. And likes and all of these things will automatically come because you're so deserving. So it's not about being a beggar and desiring the world. It's about becoming deserving and let the world want you. And if the world doesn't want you, fine, you don't want it anyway. Because you're so focused on being deserving. And who will want you most when you're deserving? Bhagavan himself will want you. And that's the greatest gift. When Bhagavan wants bhakta. Not when bhakta wants Bhagavan. When Bhagavan wants bhakta. That's beautiful. Huh? That's what we become like when we stop desiring and we focus on being deserving. Tyaga. Shantihi. Shantihi. When we let go of these desires in life, all of these desires, we become deserving. What happens is we get shantihi. Shantihi, peace of mind. This peace of mind is precious. Sometimes we forget how precious our peace of mind is that we will sell it at any given time. Something happens to us and we value being right more than our peace of mind. Sometimes we value winning more than peace of mind. We value our ego more than peace of mind. We value money more than peace of mind. So shantihi is when I understand that my peace of mind is so precious. It's so precious that it's just not worth all of that. I'm not saying in life that we don't have to fight, we don't have to argue for something that's right. We do, we should, but pick your battle. Pick your battle. You don't have to fight every single thing. When I was coming back from Bharat this January, something happened with my flight in Air India. I had changed it, but then it wasn't on their system and all of that. And the flight's about to depart, soon, in an hour or so. And I'm like, could you, put something together so I can make that flight? And I had gone early, but they said, go to this desk and go to that desk and go to this desk. And so they were like, oh, we don't know if we can put you here because your reservation is not in our system and you'll have to pay this and you'll have to do this and you'll have to do that. And I was thinking to myself, I said, you know what? This is all not worth my peace of mind. Let me just be peaceful. I just need to go back to New York, and whatever it takes, let me just do that. Because my peace of mind is just so precious. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to let everything go. Whatever happens, let it happen right now. And so they said, okay, we'll put you on another flight. It was 9 o'clock. You leave at 1 in the morning. I said, okay, fine. Meanwhile, one of the ladies was like, oh, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a Brahmachari in Chinmaya mission. She said, well, now that you missed your flight, why don't you sit with me and tell me about God? I was like, okay. She said, yeah, come sit. I have so many questions. I said, listen, Bhagavan, if this is what you want, you have it. I surrender. So I sat with her, and she said, and I didn't have dinner at that time, and I wasn't going to go buy food in the airport because they're so big. She said, come, I'll feed you something. So I sat, I had a nice dinner, and I had a nice conversation with God. And I said, this is what I value. I don't want to fight so much. I don't want to run around so much because that battle, frankly, wasn't worth it. So when I say Shanti, I mean value your peace of mind. All these small little battles, you and I don't have to go and fight. You send somebody else to go and fight, Like in this Bollywood movie, that Gunda is there. That big Gunda will never go for these small fights. He'll send some other people, you go fight, let me relax, sit here, drink some whiskey and watch my thing, This big Gunda doesn't bother with all these things. But when it's a big fight, he goes, He himself will go, right? So for you and me, value your peace of mind. For the small fights, you don't need to fight so much. Big fights, worth it fights, you go and fight them. Shanti. Apaishuna. Apaishuna means absence of crookedness. Absence of crookedness. See, Paishunam is actually when we talk about the defects of other people. When we talk about the negative things about other people, is called Paishunam. Apaishunam is not speaking about the defects of other people in public, not publicly exposing them. Sometimes what happens when someone hurts us, we tend to tell everybody about it. We'll call one person and say, you know what he did to me? He said this to me. How could he even say it? Who does he think he is? The whole day will go. After you put down the phone, what will you do? You'll call somebody else. You'll call somebody else and tell them about this person and tell all of these things about that person. And that's not enough. The next time you go to a social gathering, you'll say, you know this person, you know what he or she did. And you'll go on and on and on and on and on with that kind of talk. Apaishana means not to expose the defects of anybody. If I need to get it out, if I just need to talk to somebody one-on-one about it, that's fine. And if I need to tell that person, that's completely fine, but I don't need to go out and spread it to everybody else. There's no need to publicly speak out negatively about anyone. Rather, tell them one-on-one. Or if not, then think about it. Reflect on it. What happens when we start being this source of negative talk and spreading all these negative thoughts about somebody? What happens? Very often you and I forget that when we speak, who's the first one that listens? We. Whatever we speak, we're the first one that listens to it. So we are already taking in all this negativity. Lord Shiva is the most wonderful expression of this. How so? In the churning of the Milky Ocean, Lord Shiva, they churned it. What came out first? Poison. Nobody wanted to take poison. No one wanted to take poison. Lord Shiva took the poison. But what did he do with that poison? First of all, he didn't spit out the poison because it would poison other people. So he never spat it out. But at the same time, he never swallowed the poison. So it didn't affect him. It didn't make him more toxic. It didn't do that in his system. What did he do? He kept the poison right here in his throat. And that's why he's called Nilakantha. And he put a snake around it. Because he said that this poison I will conquer and I will make it my ornament. I will put a snake around it and make it my ornament. That's what Lord Shiva did. So something negative happened to you, someone said something to you, someone looked at you in a certain way. Lord Shiva didn't spit that out, nor did he swallow it and make it toxic. He reflected on it and he made it his ornament and he said, now I've learned my lesson and I know what to do. That's Lord Shiva. You see? That's how he stands. So, apaishunam. No need to display all of that about anybody. We wouldn't like it being displayed about us. But of course, on the contrary, if there's something positive, please spread it. Because that will always do people good. Daya. Daya bhuteshu. Daya means compassion. Nowadays, these are words that we hear so often, right? Compassion, empathy, all of these words we hear. What exactly is compassion? What does this feeling mean? This feeling is very much like love when I'm able to identify with the other person and meet them at where they are at. Acknowledge what they're feeling. You know, very often we give advice and we think that this is compassion. You know, we give advice. We say, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. You know, actually nobody wants our advice. Nobody wants it because they already know what to do. You know, they're not calling you for advice. Even if you're telling them, they already know what they're going to do. Right? When you call somebody and you just share what you're going through and they're telling you what to do, you already know what you're going to do. You already know. So they don't need advice. Compassion means give attention instead of advice. This is one of the 5 love languages, right? It's quality time, attention. So compassion means meet the other person where they're at and just give them attention. Just fully look into their eyes. This skill also we've lost because we are looking on our phones, right? One time we were walking, someone was looking at their phones and somebody said, hey dude, on this planet people look up, okay? You know, I get so shocked because in New York City, you're crossing the street and you're looking at your phone and God, I don't know what's going to happen to half the people there if this is what we keep doing. So compassion means at least look someone in the eye and just give them attention and just listen. That's all. Actually, that's all they want. They just want someone to listen to whatever they're going through. That's it. That is called compassion. Because then they feel that you're feeling what they're feeling. And that's all they want. They want you to feel what they're feeling. And once you feel what they're feeling, then they're healed. Your advice is not healing them. Your attention is. Your attention to their needs, to their emotions, to what they're going through, that's healing them. That's because that's just giving them a space to feel. And that's really speaking all we need to do. Daya bhuteshu. Aloluptvam. Aloluptvam means uncovetousness. Here, aloluptvam means when we're able to say no. Loluptva is, when our sense organs get tempted by certain things. Like things we're not supposed to see, we're not supposed to want, or we're not supposed to hear. Our sense organs get so tempted. Let's say I'm not supposed to watch certain things, or I'm not supposed to see certain things, and then I see it and I get so tempted. Or I'm not supposed to hear certain things, and I hear it and I get so tempted. Aloluptva means say no. Say no to those things that will tempt me unnecessarily. One very good example I think that people can relate to is food, right? Certain foods we're not supposed to eat, or we can't eat. We're not allowed to eat, especially the doctor says stay away from this. And let's say somebody is allergic to something, or someone's not supposed to eat something, let's say like a big, nutty cake. Somebody brings it. Or let's say further, this is what a lot of us go through. Let's say we have eaten and we're full. Let's say we're already full, okay? And then we go to our friend's house. We go to our friend's house, and then what do they say? Here, have something to eat. And we say, no, it's okay. But that no is so weak. It's like, no, it's okay, but if you give me something, I'll take it. That's what that no is saying, right? It's like so weak, no, it's okay. Like, no, it's okay, I don't want anything. That our no to temptation is so weak. It should be like, no, I can't have it. I've already eaten and I'm done. But what happens is our sense of no is not firm enough because we still kind of want it. And we justify in our minds that I'm going to say no, but if they give it to me, then what can I do? What can I do? They offered it to me and I don't want to be rude, so I'm just going to eat it. And we just justify it. Justify. The truth is, no. If I'm not supposed to go or have it, then say no. So there are situations which can tempt us, but do we have the power to say no to them? When we are able to say no, or when we are able to resist them, we become the master of them. We become their master and not their slaves. At first we are the masters of something. Let's say we become the master of food or eating a certain way. But after some time, that food takes over us. It starts to enjoy us. It starts to call us. And we become slaves of it. So when we have this quality, aloluptvam, we have the capacity to stand up, stop it. Aloluptvam. Mardavam. Mardavam means gentleness. What is being gentle? Puja Gurudev has a very, very beautiful saying. To handle others, use your heart. To handle yourself, use your head. Right? Gentleness means, there's a beautiful Subhashita that says the wise people, they're very firm on their path. anything that happens to them, they're very, very firm. And if they're going through a really difficult time, they're tough. They're tough about it, they're strict with themselves, they're disciplined. But if somebody else is going through it, they're very gentle. They're very, very gentle. And they have a listening ear. So Mardava means to myself, be strict, be disciplined. To myself, be a little bit tougher. But to others, have that sense of gentleness. Because they're at a different point in time. You know, we have the ability of saying, like if somebody says, I had such a hard time. What are you talking about? I didn't have a hard time. It was so easy for me. They don't want to hear about that. They're like, this trip was so hard for me. It was so long and I couldn't hike that mountain. Oh yeah, I did it in 2 hours. It's like we have that thing to just say, yeah, it's so easy. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. That's not Mardava. Mardava means, okay, for me it's different. But for the other person, it's different also. Right? The whole idea is to come to their level. They're experiencing something completely different. You need not compare yourself with them. So, to handle yourself, use your head. Get it straight. But to handle somebody else, use your heart. Rihi. Rihi means modesty. Modesty in this context means have some sense of shame, positive shame. That if I do something wrong, like how could I have done that? Or how could I have said that? Or why would I do something like that? It's this sense of positive shame that one feels. Because if one doesn't have this, then you can do whatever and you won't feel anything. You won't feel anything inside. If I do something wrong, it should hurt. It should feel painful. If I missed my sadhana today, if I didn't do it completely, I should feel like, you know what, I missed my sadhana. I really need to work on it. If I said something I shouldn't have said, I should be like, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. That is called ri. That ability to feel that kind of shame that, I feel ashamed about it. That is called ri. Achapalam. Achapalam here means absence of fickleness. Fickleness here means, like your mind. Earlier in yoga, we learned that the mind is so fickle. And so yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, right? Fickleness means absence of unnecessary movement. Unnecessary movement is achapalam. So sometimes we sit and our legs go like this, or our pants go like this, or like this, right? There's so many unnecessary movements that we do. And one of the most unnecessary movements that we have is checking the phone all the time. Right? Unnecessary movement. How many times will you go and check it? How many times will you look at the same thing? But we have this kind of fickleness. We can't be straight. We can't sit straight. Earlier when I asked you to take that sankalpa, 20 minutes, it's hard, right? Because it's something that we have to develop after, over a period of time. So, this is called achapalam. So here, the underlying theme of what we've seen in these verses is confidence and patience. Confidence really in saying that, you know what? I shouldn't limit who I am. I shouldn't limit my belief. I shouldn't limit myself by my thinking, saying things like, I don't deserve this. I'm not worth it. I don't know if moksha will happen this life. All of those things I'm limiting myself in. So that limiting ourselves is violence. And confidence is the ability to break through that with satya, with that language of positivity, with that language of, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can make it happen. And while we're on the path, as I said, akrodha, being patient with oneself. In this matter of patience, there's a difference between tamas and sattva. The two can look alike. There's a difference between not doing anything completely and trying, but not being able to go as quickly as I want. When you see yourself as not doing anything completely, that is tamasic. Don't be patient with yourself when you're tamasic. Be pushy. When I'm in the mode where, I can't do anything, I'm too tired, there you don't need patience. There you need something else. This patience is meant for that sattvic personality who's trying, but it's taking time. So be patient with it. It will come in its own time, and you are growing roots. And of course, we saw tyagaha. We saw that on this path, as we are being patient with ourselves, as we are growing, let go of what? Desire. Drop it. Stop desiring the world. Become deserving of the world. Then God Himself will come to you. And that's a better way to work, because otherwise we're always thinking, what if I get this? What if I don't get this? I really want this, but I'm not getting this. So many things. Your mind will go on and on and on. But when we just work on being deserving, it's so peaceful. Which is why Shanti. Value your peace of mind. You don't need to fight every single thing out there. Only what is required you fight. Rest. Keep your peace. Apaishunam. In doing this, we saw not to speak bad about anybody, not to speak negatively about anybody. If I need to vent, okay, you can, to maybe one person, that's fine, that's more than enough. Or just tell the person directly, that's the best. Compassion. As I grow as a seeker, as I am able to lift myself, then to be able to meet others where they are, without feeling the need to give them advice, without wanting to give them advice, just giving them that attention, just looking into their eyes, just being with them. It was said that Puja Gurudev, whenever he was with you, he was with only you, and you felt it. You felt like he was with you the whole entire time. Aloluptvam. Aloluptvam means being able to say no, no, it can't happen. Not leaving even a room of, no, I'm not sure. If it's not good for you, no, done. That's it. And people will, people then know this person is the one who's very firm, and when they say no, it's no. But this person you can kind of twist and turn. They'll know. I'm sure you already know. In your whole committee, who is the one who's like very firm, who's the one you can, twist and turn and this and that. If it's something wrong, if it's a temptation, then our no must be no. Mardhavam we saw, gentleness towards others, but towards ourselves, be strict. Hrihi, sense of shame. Achapalam, no unnecessary moving here and there, Mm-hmm. So with this, we conclude the second part of self-love, the ability to have confidence and patience in oneself. We'll sit quietly for a few moments, and then we will say the closing prayer. So everyone sit straight. I know it's a lot of sitting for you, so thank you for being patient with me. Akrodaha. Thank you. Close your eyes. We'll just be quiet for some time, and then we'll close. As you're reflecting, as you're rewinding whatever was thought, just bring your attention to any one thing that you really resonated with. and see how that can be lived in daily life. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.